Hello there, Sister Wives watchers and chick chatters. We are back with Sister Wives 21. It has been quite a break.
Long break. I can't quite figure out why this episode is called The Land of Milk and Honey. Any ideas? Is that what they call heaven? Maybe it has to do with the baptism? I don't know.
Possible.
Let us know, chick chatters. But welcome back to Sister Wives. Welcome back to Questions Without Answers.
We started off this episode right back where we left off. They gave us 2 months off, but it felt like nothing when we watched it.
Literally still in the truck on the way to North Carolina.
Literally. And instead of Janelle riding with Christine, she's now riding with Truly, which they only showed us the size of those people's heads. I wish they would have showed us one little conversation between Janelle and Truly, because what do they have to talk about?
That's true. I wonder what they do have to talk about as well. I feel like Truly and David probably have more to talk about than, Janelle and Truly. But, I mean, maybe they're catching up. At some point, there was some kind of a parental relationship between the two of them. So maybe they're catching up. Maybe they're having a really private, deep conversation.
I just want to see a little bit of it. I'm just curious.
I would like to as well. I think it would probably be better than Christine going on and on and on about her past life with Cody, because that's just about what almost half this episode is, and all the time in this truck.
And every episode.
That's true. I think there's a level of them being forced to talk about Cody and the relationship for cameras, because that's what ties them all together for this show. But David is really a trooper for just, okay, you should never keep score. That's ridiculous.
Never. They'd be arguing about something like a toaster.
Toaster, stereos, dishes, couches, you name it.
They talk about how in polygamy there's more conflict with jealousy, and it can be something as simple as she has a better spatula than me that can really set off everybody.
I believe it. I feel like there's a limited amount of resources, like we've always talked about. I think Christine was saying to David how she felt like she was always getting the scraps of time, scraps of spatulas.
Basement wife.
Basement wife. And Robin's over here can't understand how anyone would wrap their head and mind around keeping a score. And I do understand the perspective of, if you keep score, then what are you enemies? Because that's what happens, when you're doing that, when you're playing sports, all of that. But this is different. This is a plural marriage. And it's very easy for you to sit there, Robin, and just be like, oh, what are we, enemies? When you're getting everything you want, all of your needs are met, and your needs are being met so much so that it's taking away from everyone else. So yes, they're keeping score.
She's like, a scoreboard? What?
Never heard of a scoreboard.
Me?
Sports?
Me? Miss 11-day honeymoon? Why would they keep score?
Right, why would you keep score? Goodness gracious.
I would do that.
Christine also talks about how, it was an abrupt shift of topic, but here we are. She talks about how Cody always wanted all the women in his life to look nice. And there was a particular memory she shared with us about how they were camping, and Janelle and her were just slaving over the food and cooking and managing the kids. And so, of course, they didn't have all their makeup done and their hair done, but that Robin spent the entire time doing her makeup and her hair.
And then they showed us.
And
so
she
can't deny it.
Because she will deny it.
She denied the personality test, and they showed us that too.
I know. She will find a way to explain it away if she can't deny it. So she explains, oh, well, here we go. Never mind. You and I were talking about this beforehand. She says I was 6 months pregnant. No, you were not.
There's just no way I would want to be 6 months pregnant and laying on the ground. But, I guess everybody's different, whatever. So you get up and do your makeup. Why do you care at 6 months pregnant when you're out camping?
You're getting sick all the time. Why would you put makeup on? I know when I'm getting sick, if I'm vomiting, my eyes are watering. I'm wiping my face off. I'm breathing. Why would I put my makeup on? For Cody to look good.
The cameras, maybe.
Yeah, for Cody and the cameras.
I remember this camping trip, but obviously it must have been an earlier season thing. Honestly, it looked like a season 1 thing, but
it did. 2. Especially they dressed like
nails,
tank tops and shirts. Yeah, a lot in those earlier seasons. And yes, her nails are giving newlywed.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys know, chick chatters, but they definitely used to dress like I did in middle school.
Oh yeah, worse though.
We looked. They were adults.
You mean?
Well, they were adults, so it was a little bit stranger on them.
That's true. Yes,
it was almost childlike on them.
It was, yeah, you're right.
Maybe
I
we should
think
bring
they
it
did
back.
that out of modesty, obviously, but yeah, it's giving middle schooler.
Maybe we should bring it back. Maybe when we start covering Sister Wives, we should wear tank tops over our long
I
sleeves.
could. I probably still have. I'm actually about to have a garage sale in a couple of weeks, so I actually have all of those clothes out. I never got rid of a lot of my high school clothes. I could probably pull out a tank or two with a little
With the frills.
t-shirt, little white t-shirt or
The
something.
lace.
Oh, definitely that. Yeah. Robin talks about how she feels that unfair fighting was something that contributed to them not trusting each other, and that it contributed to the family falling apart. So we are right back in the first episode after such a long break, still trying to hypothesize as to what has happened to this family.
Still to this day.
Janelle isn't worried about that.
Janelle is just very happy to be starting her new life in North Carolina. They end up showing up to North Carolina with all of her things in tow, and they talk about this property that she has bought but not seen. So she's excited to take Christine to go look at that.
Over to Mary. We're going to check in and see how she's doing. It's so many emails. It's wild. Just, did you see how that went back and forth? It was just, I got an email, and so you sent me an email about the email, so I sent Robin the email. Oh my God, we got another email.
How many emails? They need to start getting different emails for this.
I mean, they can't get any different emails because apparently the sister wife closet is still online. And
It
Robin
is. I
has,
almost bought you something.
well, you wouldn't have got it. You'd have got an email.
I could have hit him with an email.
You'd have got an email from Mary or Robin or probably Jen.
Where
Sounds
does
like
the money
Jen.
go then? So when people get these orders, what happens to the money, you know?
That's what I'm trying to say. And that's what I think they're trying to low-key say as well, because Robin is over here saying, oh, well, the business is on hold, but I haven't turned the cart off, but the business is on hold. So yeah, someone puts in their order, they put it on their credit card, and at minimum, they have to wait to get reimbursed. But it sounds like they're just hearing nothing. They're getting nothing. They're hearing nothing. They're probably
the
going to have
cheapest thing
to.
on there is like $50 too. So
I know these are not inexpensive items by any means. And
yeah.
I would imagine people probably are going to have to report to, hopefully they do it on a credit card so they have some protections. But I'm sure Robin's just pocketing this money. Mary's probably doing this to expose her, or better yet, Jen. I mean, she's the one who, as soon as Mary walked in the house, did you get my email?
The business hasn't been viable in at least 5 years, I think, at this time.
Never.
But I don't think they did a thing since moving from Vegas with it.
Wow.
So I think it could have been safe to turn off the cart. Why would you not turn off the cart?
I think that's going to be the first thing you do if it's on pause. What else would make it on pause? Your website's still up. You can still see things. You can still buy things. The only thing that makes it on pause is that you are not fulfilling the orders that you're being paid for. That's
you just took a pause.
Like, what the hell?
She was killing me when she went on to her explanation, Robin. She says, well, the cart's still on, so sometimes, you know, someone will sneak an order in, and then Mary might get an email, or I'll get an email, and, you know, it just happens. It's like, what? What do you mean this just happens and you haven't figured it out yet?
Yeah.
What do you mean sometimes Mary will get an email?
What do you mean sometimes an order sneaks through? Because unless there's something that pops up in the transaction process that says this business is on pause indefinitely, buy at your own risk, then no. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I want to see if I can make a purchase right now. See if she turned it off yet. My sister wife's closet under products right here. Sold out. So what's not sold out? Okay, so the lowest product, low to high, is a $30 ugly shirt. And the highest product is a $600 sterling silver 14 karat gold chalanda ring. But the 14 karat gold is only like a tiny bit of it.
Is it a colada ring? That's what they...
Colada, that's what it is. It is a colada ring. If you take these earrings, these rose stud earring, 14 karat gold, whatever, $320, which is kind of expensive for what they are, but you know, whatever. You can go to checkout to this day.
You can sneak one in.
You can
get an email.
I don't think it'll show any. Okay, yeah, I don't have any info in here. Okay, hold on.
It's kind of on pause right now, she said.
It's on pause right now. But look at here, guys. You can literally make an order right there.
Right there.
Right there. You got your email here.
You'll be getting an email.
So you'll be needing to put your
put in
email.
the direct email. No fake emails here if you want your money back, okay? Do not come over here to the Chick Chat yelling to us, okay? You got to put your right email in if you want an email.
If you want a refund because your email might not be attached.
Well, first, you're going to get an email.
You're going to get an email or you're going to need the email. So you're going to need to put your email right there. And then there's also this discount code. You could just throw in random crap, maybe like Cody 50, get you 50% off or something.
Give it a whirl, yeah. Try a couple out.
Just try a few, maybe like all the kids' names. You could put in your payment there, remember me, and then pay now, and then boom, your order slipped through.
Just
slipped through. Like, look at that. Do you imagine?
How difficult?
While I have Sister Wives Closet pulled up, let's take a look together.
Yes.
Let's go back. So this is her top dollar section.
I like those rose gold.
These are the only, I think, decent thing. This is Christine's ugly necklace that she hated.
Okay, and there's
this is
an active sale happening right now.
On sale, right? Isn't that crazy? It says it's on sale, but we have to be sending emails
But it's on pause.
It's on pause, but they're also on sale. I wonder if there's any back stock anywhere. Like, where's all these pieces at?
Probably why people aren't getting them. They're just getting emails. Everything should say sold out. If they're going to allow the cart to be open, everything should say sold out. 3 pages.
3 pages. There's some sold out, but look at these ugly shirts. You can see Robin wearing it.
Those came from Mary.
Just be the peacock, you know?
It looks like that ugly journal she got.
Another B. Like, just B.
What the F is B?
Just B. B is for brown. B is for just be with my husband.
It's like Sister Wives meets Ed Hardy.
Yeah, it is. It really is Sister Wives meets Ed Hardy and religion.
Yeah.
Trying to do the live, laugh, love thing right here. Like the loving, honest, peaceful.
Oh. What does this say? We're excited to introduce our premier pieces of our new clothing line, Audrey Bell. The design inspiration of these t-shirts comes from our B Values line of jewelry. You will see the symbols from the jewelry intertwined in the art. Each shirt is made with high quality construction and soft hand water ink printing to give the texture of an old worn vintage t-shirt. Whew! The look is timeless. With this ink printing process, the art blends with the shirt, creating a seamless design that meets a comfortable fit and makes the perfect marriage of a chic t-shirt for an evening or comfy casual for daytime. Oh my God.
Everything's got to do with marriage with these damn people.
Always.
So there you have it, Chick Chatters. I mean, you can
Please
still
don't go
order
on there
to this
because
day.
I think all you'll be getting is an email.
Don't go on there and buy anything. I really probably wouldn't, but
yeah, check it out. I mean, this is entertaining.
You know, Robin's going to sit here and be like, an order sneaks in, whatever. But look, as we can show you.
You're not being sneaky when you do it. You're just hopping on the website. Unless you just saw this scene from this show. I didn't know that Sister Wives Closet was on pause. Did you know?
I thought they were just done at this point.
Right. I thought this would not even be a website you could go to, or it would be shut down or whatever. Fidelity. Oh, God.
Choose to keep going.
Yeah, they need a bracelet like that if you got 3 sister wives.
Just choose it. And then you got the sister wife
strength.
The ring, which honestly, this is where they went wrong. You're advertising to a very small margin of people. Not everybody has a sister wife or is a sister wife.
That's when they started trying to do the whole friendship thing.
Yeah. Well, how many of them are friends now?
None of them, because none of it was real.
Look at
and then you want to ask $600 for this collada ring. So the business is on hold, but it's not really on hold, but it is on hold. So if you place an order, look for an email. Sounds like it might be from Jen or Mary because I don't think Robin's responding to emails.
And even when you get an explanation from her, she doesn't say whether or not she's talked to the guy, no?
No, she doesn't say. I feel like an omission is sort of saying I haven't spoken to them. It's just on pause.
She's like, at this point, it's donations.
Yeah. Yeah, just throw money in the pockets of millionaires. Mary's talking more to Jen about how seems like the only time that they talk is when these orders sneak through or they need something or they're sending an email. And so they're wondering what type of relationship was really ever there, because from what Jen has seen on the outside, it seems like she's always ghosting Mary. Mary's starting to come out of the fog, if you will, and figure out really that their relationship has not been all that great, that she's kept her kids from her. Why can't the kids come play in the yard during COVID? She has so many questions.
She has a whole swing set.
I did like this little outfit Jen had together here. I'm a fan of Houndstooth.
As usual, they're kind of just regurgitating, I feel, the same thing. Instead of now Mary coming to terms with Cody and her being done, now it's Robin. But I thought it was funny when they brought up Robin giving Mary that gift, that Mary started the story off with, well, me and Cody at this point, we decided to not be together. And then Robin shows up and I'm like, what, in your marriage?
Right.
Is that what you mean? And then she's like, with this gift. And I'm like, then shouldn't you have started that sentence off with, we were finishing up moving or
right.
whatever? It was so weird.
Wow. Mary is in her confessional wondering if Robin ever cared. Robin's in her confessional saying that she very much did always care, but that their schedules never lined up, COVID, da-da-da. She's always just full of excuses, right?
We were both mad about that.
Yeah, she's either sick or COVID or things are on pause, but I can't write an email.
She's like, I did message her after she moved, and she said she didn't know how to be friends with me.
I know, yes.
That's going to be used forever. Well, I have reached out.
I know. One time I tried to reach out right when everything was fresh, and she wasn't ready, so never.
But not when we were sister wives and living across the cul-de-sac.
Never then. And especially not when we was a little separated.
It was to run sister wives closet and me get mad that she even thought about going to school.
That's true too. Maybe that's the larger point that Jen was making here and I missed it. Their relationship has always only revolved around sister wives closet and things that Mary needs to say to Robin regarding emails about sister wives closet. That's how it's been for a decade.
Well, they need to shut the damn business down. I don't understand what's taking so long on that. Unless you're just trying to siphon $60 to $600 every now and then.
I think so. I mean, imagine if just one of those comes through, sneaks through once a month.
I'm telling you, almost did it. Almost had to send an email.
Almost did it. Oh, see, on accident, you get the autofill going. Your kid grabs your phone. Boom. You owe Robin Brown $600 for a collage.
Yeah, that she's going to spend on a doll.
Yeah, and you're never going to get an email. Not from that girl.
Not from her, but maybe a couple emails back from Mary. This is Robin's thing. Let me get back with you or source you out to her.
Right. We do take a break from that conversation to pop over to Aurora's baptism, where Cody is allowed to baptize Aurora because anyone can baptize anyone. Women can baptize women. And we're also doing it in a horse trough.
He's always got some story about when he was a child. Like, when I was 8 and I was getting baptized, couldn't even have my toe through the water. He's beaming a little bit too much about this baptism. I couldn't even imagine being one of his other kids right now watching this episode.
Yeah.
It was kind of, ugh. He baptizes her, and of course he takes that moment before dunking her in, which, side note, I don't know why she curled her hair before being dunked into a damn horse trough. What's the point? But whatever. Especially if you're gonna have to curl it again later to put some child bow in your hair. But bygones will be bygones. Anyways, Cody decides to whisper. It sounds like some side prayer from his church, so he can cover all of his bases. So this way she's good everywhere. That's what I got out of that, but I don't know.
Oh, really?
What did you
get? I know that you whisper like the whatever prayer, but I don't know if it's the same for all religions or maybe he said them both or whatever. The way I interpreted what he said in his confessional, he said something about throwing back his values or something. I interpreted that of like, I put my values aside, but he said it in a weird way. I mean, I didn't understand what the hell he was.
So to me, I had the impression, because I think it was Robin or something that was describing this scene, said that all of a sudden Cody just whispered something to her. So I feel like that was off the cuff. So it made me wonder if he was saying some prayer from his church is what it sounded like. So this way she's good. Like, he can put his own faith in there. Because, Cody's got to put his own everything in everywhere. So I don't know. It just felt really narcissistic to me that he is in Aurora's new church faith, whatever. And I'm not sure. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, chick chatters in the comments, because maybe you guys know a little bit more. But I got out of it that he was praying some other baptism prayer from the LDS church because he wants to cover his bases.
Right. It's possible. That's definitely possible. He wasn't really clear to me the way that he was explaining it. I took it, I think that that's part of the baptism, since he was baptizing her, that he is supposed to say whatever before she dunks in. I'm not the most well-versed in the understanding of that. I was baptized when I was like an infant, so.
Me as well. But
so
she
looks happy.
Beaming, as Robin says. And Robin's such a weird, awkward mom, like an older lady, awkward mom. Like, she's cool, isn't she?
I know.
Laura.
She almost gave this look around when she was giving her impression that she was confused or angry with people for cheering for her. Yeah, duh, she's cool. I don't know. It was weird. You're right. It's so weird.
They're really cringy. I don't know.
The whole family is cringy.
Well, good for Aurora. She did something for herself. It's a good thing. It's just a little much for me to see Cody be such an involved parent with one child or a couple of children and not so much everywhere else, but blame them all for it. And it's just it's like good for you, but not for everybody else, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's a lot of differences that people could easily point out in the way that he shows up for these kids versus the other kids. I think Cody should treat all of Robin's children the same, but Robin's children are the only ones that have children in that family that aren't biologically his. And the fact that he's just all into that family, it really is giving abandoned my family. I'm going to adopt these kids. I'm going to do what I should be doing for all of you. For them.
I mean, he more or less says that when he talks about the last time he seen Mary was not just saying goodbye to Mary, but goodbye to the whole family.
Yeah.
I kind of think that was some subconscious telling on himself.
And I know some of that right now, too, is that a lot of his adult children, at least, are not really wanting to talk to him right now. But I still think he should be more effortful in that relationship.
He could try.
He could. So
there's so many of them, but they didn't last to be here.
That's true. Well, that's why it's Cody's responsibility tenfold that he tries to make sure that he is in their lives to support them. There's always going to be pain when Cody's not in their lives, even though for them it's definitely easier because Cody's maybe narcissistic. He's real self-centered, you know?
And I think it's one thing when your dad was kind of a deadbeat dad, but a whole other thing when you see him be a good dad to other people, especially when you were growing up with those other people at one point. Like, it's not even just
and it's all on TV and then everyone talks about it. You know, it's just, So after the baptism, they do pop over to Josephine. Outside, which we haven't seen in a while. While they're getting seated, Robin talks about how she feels like the family failed because they didn't include God and include the church enough in their family concept. And I could actually get behind that. She's talking about how everything is so complicated when you're committing to a plural marriage and you're doing it mostly because of a religion. So you probably should be including God a lot so that you can deal with all those difficulties in a way that aligns all of you together. Otherwise, you're going to deal with all those difficulties differently and it's going to separate them all, which is what they did in Flagstaff. I could agree with her.
I think a lot of what happened with them is that they lost their community as well.
Totally. Yeah.
Once you get away from those communities, when you're in them, it's a lot harder to keep your faith going. You have to be in those communities, go to those church services. Otherwise, you got to do them on your own. We saw them doing homemade church services.
And even though that was kind of funny and we laugh at that, that's what they should have been doing probably to keep their family together. I'm not saying that would have saved their family, but I do think that would have helped them have a sense of community amongst each other and shared values. By the time they moved to Flagstaff, they were operating fully different families of values, and half of them didn't even know why they were in plural marriage anymore. They couldn't even agree on that, right? Like Cody was like, oh, well, I just did this now because I liked it, and Robin is all into the faith, and it was all disjointed. Yep, but we go back to Mary and Jen, and they bring up the fabulous trash journal worth thousands of dollars.
At least a couple hundred.
Yeah, that's dramatic. But I do think she spent thousands of dollars in those trash journals. I've seen a YouTuber go back in that Etsy person's reviews and pretty much figured out what Robin's account is. And she has done a lot of reviews on those trash journals, and they're all like a couple $100, like $400, $300, $400, $500, $600 journals. It looks like
she's got a bunch of empty journals at her house, or that they're filled with stuff.
I think she's gifting them to people too, but I'm guessing some of them are for her. Yeah, that she's just like hoarding them like she is with those dolls. Maybe each doll has a journal.
Possible. I didn't even realize how awkward that scene between Robin and Mary was at the time, because I was so focused on the photo on Mary's wall that I thought was Robin, but it turned out to probably be Leon back in the day.
I also realized something in rewatching that scene as well. I should have gotten a picture of it, but maybe this is what you were thinking of too. Robin brought Mary a present and then she opened for her.
Yeah.
Just hand it to her then.
Mary did not seem excited about it either.
She just needed to get through that moment. She hated every second of that.
Yep. And then she waddled away.
Waddle, waddle.
Robin's talking about how Mary moving away and then saying that she does not want to hang out with her was so hard on her, but she didn't care to hang out with Mary at any point in the last like 5 years. How was it moving was hard on you? Like, you didn't ask to hang out with her like before she moved or to a movie or to anything.
I really don't understand Robin's timeline when it comes to her friendship with Mary. I think Robin has been skirting Mary for a long time and selling her more than she's really delivering to her, which has, I don't think, been really much of anything ever. But Mary, for some reason, thought that they were in this really good friendship. And now that they're not sister wives anymore, she sees Robin as her ex-husband's wife and not her sister wife. And she doesn't really know how to wrap her head around that kind of relationship. And Robin is confused by that. She said something weird about this relationship should be easier than the sister wives relationship.
I feel like it'd be harder almost.
Agreed.
Because you came in to my 30-year marriage and then all of a sudden it went to crap, you know?
Yeah, she said the sister wives relationship is tougher than this, referring to this. And I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think this is going to be harder. A lot of reasons, and Mary has some good reasons too, that she says they'd have to have a lot of conversations, they'd have to have a lot of boundaries and some of the wounds that have happened between the two of them. And if Robin doesn't know what those are, then there's no hope for that in the first place. Mary said she's not convinced that Robin would really like what Mary has to say, and that Robin wouldn't be very honest with her in those conversations. So why would she indulge in those?
I noticed Robin said a lot of off the cuff things this episode, like when she said about Mary, oh, I was the only one that wasn't plotting against her, or I was the one that was there for her doing blah, blah, blah. It's like, what do you mean? Who was plotting against her? Are you saying something about this catfish thing? Like, what happened against Mary?
Mm-hmm.
People are plotting
I feel like she could even maybe be referring to Cody plotting against Mary. I feel like Cody probably made other wives feel like if they buddied up with Mary, the one who did all these bad things, that they would suffer repercussions. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We also hear that Robin heard that Mary was making fun of her in public. I wish that she would give more to the story to this, because I just want to know the tea. I don't know if she's talking about, because it's just been so long, and I know we're sort of just picking back up where we left off a couple of months ago. I think maybe she's referring to that time that Mary went out to that garden or whatever with those strangers and was talking about Robin then. Remember those girls went out to that lunch and they sat outside on this random table, and then these two random girls came.
Yeah, but I don't remember her making fun of Robin, though.
Well, I think Robin interprets making fun of me as talking anything but not nice to me. Like,
who's to know? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I would like to see the receipts on this.
I want to know exactly what she means by that. But making fun of what? I mean, one thing to say she's talking bad about me, but making fun.
Yeah. What is there really to make fun of? I mean, a lot, in my opinion. But from Mary's perspective, she shares a lot with her. So
I just want to know.
I just want to know too. Ultimately, Mary is an optimist, and she hopes that one day they could maybe have some of these conversations and get along, but she's certainly not going to be the one trying to drive that ship, boat, truck, whatever. Ain't no way.
Ain't no way. So we go over to Maddie's, where they are gearing up to go see the property. That is 150 acres, and they don't even know where to start with it. But apparently Maddie's the only one who's seen it. They're just going around talking about if they would ever buy land again, and nobody else would but Janelle.
Yes, that's true. We do have a little funny moment in the kitchen about the rock hard abs situation, and Cody had to make sure to correct us all that his abs are not rock hard, they're just washboard.
Was that Dr. Seuss about to come out of his mouth too? Like, it was very poetic the way he was trying to say it too. Like,
I am man of flesh. I do have buns of steel.
What is this? Are you about to do an incantation or something? Like,
I know. So they go on a little bit about what they might name the farm, and there's some jokes about hippie names. And I thought that this Flowers in the Field that Christine came up with is really dumb. And the fact that they capitalized this in the closed captions as if it was some kind of legitimate option just caught me off guard.
Make every suggestion count.
There's some anticipation building about what if the land is snake infested, what if it's not cool. They're going to get on out there to check it out. Before that happens, we pop over to Josephine's, a familiar location, but not a familiar seating space.
I did not know they had outdoor seating, so I guess we're outside at Josephine's, and Cody is super pumped to be here today. He did not take his ADHD medication this morning.
Something.
He is talking to Aurora, who is wearing a child's bow, but it doesn't actually match her dress. So I'm not sure what the goal was with that choice.
I think I have a better view of that too.
Not that an older person can't wear a bow, but
No, I
just
got rid of
it
that one.
looks
But,
very childlike of a bow. It's a very ribbony bow.
Agreed. I hear the whole modesty thing with religion, but yeah, it's childlike. It's like immature. And I guess maturity and sexuality, a lot of those things are dampered down for women in certain aspects of religion. But it sounded like the church that she's going to is very non-traditional. There's a band, there's the boom, 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 boom going on. So I don't feel like they're very judgmental. I wonder if some of this still comes from Cody.
Or Robin.
Or Robin. You're
than
right.
likely, but
You're right.
yeah, Solomon, though, seemed so disinterested at this entire dinner. And I was like, good for you, Solomon.
Yeah, I wondered if he was in trouble or something. He just like he looked sad in some of the parts of it.
Like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, but Cody's just enamored by the baptism, how everyone was so enthusiastic, and he really loves to see enthusiastic people because he's enthusiastic about Robin. Like, what?
And then he brings up the soulmate thing, which I died when they brought that up. He's like, oh, did I say that? And she said, no, you made fun of me for that. And then he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And she's like, no, our world had no place for that word.
I know.
It was so part of your world to me. Like, I want to be where the polygamists are. I want to see the sister wives sitting on their porch. Like, what do you mean that was not a part of our world?
Well,
it was just so dramatically said by her. It was like, okay, Robin, take about 5 steps back.
Mm-hmm. Totally true. She wants to be a polygamous wife, but she was never a polygamous wife from day one. And so she has all these ideas in her head that she can claim the culture of polygamy or whatever, and she's still stuck in there, but she's never done it. She's never done it. She never kept score.
She never kept score. So how is she a sister wife?
Yes. And you know how they like to pop back and forth in the confessional sometimes where everyone answers the topic at hand that's going on. So Janelle and Christine, of course, chime in and talk about how terrible the idea of having soulmates is in a marriage. I did think it was funny, though, because Brianna, when Cody was asking, do you think you'll ever have a moment where you top that? I don't think you will. And she says, well, I would hope that my wedding, is something close to that or better. And Cody seems to be shocked by that, which is so weird if you're so in love. But anyways, Brianna, her face right here is so Robin when she has Robin's little attitude, the stink eye. Oh, so she'll be floating, don't you think? We were raised by you guys.
This scene tore me up. I was like, Brianna, you're about 3 bad decisions away from becoming Carolyn from Survivor and Traitors at this point, the way your face be looking. Like,
so
just
true.
A couple bad decisions away.
Also so Robin. I mean, her face is twitching with emotion.
Random irritation. I can't tell if it was sarcasm or if it was real, but it was weird. You don't think by us looking at you guys we would know to do anything less than our soulmate.
Oh my gosh. Cody wants to claim that his children are just enamored by him and Robin when they talk and so enthusiastic about their love and all of that.
This makes me feel even worse for the other kids who don't see a functioning marriage. I mean, what's the flex here, Cody, that you have 18 kids and only 5 of them see a functioning marriage?
Right.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I actually heard too that, I mean, this is a rumor, I don't know for sure, but I've heard that Dayton is actually living with Preston for sure, and that's why we don't see him. But
I've heard that too. Yeah, right.
So anyways,
Cody goes on to talk about how he's just so in love with Robin and so happy with his family now, but what has gone on has made him vulnerable because he's been left and he's wondering if he's still valuable to his wife. So it makes him basically a fool for her love. And if she wanted, she could just take him for all he has.
Any doll she wants.
Any doll possible, any junk journal you'd like, any piece of art, hang it up in the new house, any house you would like.
You can have all of Etsy.
So Cody admits he's just doing whatever he can to keep Robin around and happy and satisfied because he just feels like a schmuck.
In love, yep.
Meanwhile, one of his adult children calls him out for being a schmuck.
Nothing really gets done over there, apparently, but they're going to go off into these trees and take a look around with Christine and David. It's on this really rocky road, and there's just trees. That's it.
Christine said there's not even a lot of places to stand.
Stand next to the trees. They will have a lot of wood, I guess, for
building. Well, yeah,
building.
I guess it was a lumber farm. Mary ain't never going to buy no raw land.
Not raw. It's got to be cooked. Medium.
No, that's what Christine wants, coach land. She wants a finished house. She wants a big living space, but finished.
Well done.
Nothing raw. But these two here are 2/3 owners of this here raw land.
Baby steps.
10 acres at a time. That's going to take a while.
They only doing that for generational wealth, but you know that's kind of why you buy a plot that big. Unless you got a big idea, there's going to be a lot of extra room. I think it's smart to just start in one corner, work your way around, whatever.
Yeah, figure out where you want to clear out and live, and then find where you want the farm and the flowers to be. But yeah, they're not going to develop 150 acres of land.
Not at one. They got all the time in the world now, and all of Janelle's money to do.
And all Janelle's money, every cent she has. But the land was just recently sold at Coyote Pass, so I guess she's probably going to get a little bit of a rehash of that. I'm pretty sure her and Mary split something like $750,000. So she's got a little good chunk of money, I believe. And that's obviously not enough probably to live off of for the rest of her life, but it's at least not nothing.
Might be enough to start doing some developing over where she's at. We will see. So back over at Josephine's.
We had to get the classic sign picture.
Yes. The modern American home bistro.
Not in the attic today.
Not in the attic, room, cellar, basement, corridor, whatever. Robin pretty much answers Cody's fear of if he is devalued because every woman that left took a piece of him, and now there is no value to me because she is different towards me and blah, 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 which it's already was touched on earlier in this episode that he was also away towards her for most of this time. They just weren't vibing because they were losing all these people. Also, and that's money walking out the door every woman that he lets go. So maybe
especially for Robin and her perspective,
maybe she is seeing a little bit of devalue going on here.
There is a devalue happening in this family, okay?
I'm not sure if it's within the spirit, but it's definitely devalued in some way.
Yeah, Mary carried her bag right gone out. And Janelle apparently had a bag too, and she carried hers out as well. Carrying on with the conversation topic that they're having at Josephine's, they talk about how who you marry is one of the most important decisions that you ever make because it affects every piece of your life. And Cody chimes in, he's like, especially your happiness. Yeah, Cody, maybe you should have thought about making the people happy in your life. And what did he call himself on the first episode? He's like, I'm addicted to marriage or something like that.
I like how he chimes in about happiness when he let Mary be unhappy for decades upon decades.
Since the beginning.
Ugh, what a waste.
And then Robin decides to bring up in her confessional while they're talking about who do you choose to marry and how it's so important to happiness. She starts thinking about, well, if Cody decided to marry somebody else, I'd need a guarantee that it's going to work out and whatever. There are no guarantees in life, and there's certainly no guarantees in plural marriage. I have heard lots of podcasts since I started watching Sister Wives about plural marriage and people's experiences. And I think even Christine or somebody on this show has said they've never seen it work. Cody has said.
You married a man who had already been in 3 relationships for longer than 15 years at that point. What more of a guarantee did you need that he was probably going to stay with those people? I mean, it was longevity.
Yeah.
But
no marriage is guaranteed, but I think the more you add people in, the more.
I don't think the guarantee is what you need. I think there's other skills and things to work on other than the guaranteeing and the commitment. I mean, what do you want? A contract signed by the woman?
Probably. She probably wants her alimony after the woman decides to leave too, because she learned her lesson with Mary.
She don't want another woman over there unless it's for her money.
Exactly.
Unless that woman's got a doll collection.
That's what she wants to guarantee, that woman will come with a bag.
Or a bunch of dolls or bows.
Stop.
I could not stop looking at that stupid bow.
That's the only reason I took this picture.
That's why these girls dress like this. The moms been dressing them like dolls, but making them still dress like dolls.
And I know bows are trendy right now, but there's a way to do a bow as a woman. I don't know. Whatever. But Cody wants to end this whole scene with, I hope that whatever happens in the future, that the girls, while they continue the relationship with God, that whenever they decide to get married, that they include us in that, and that Robin's going to really give them a run for their money. And he gives us this weird cheesy smile.
Robin's gonna give guys a run for their money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I bet she will. She's very protective of her little bird.
True.
She don't like it when they leave the nest. She will move the entire nest.
She will move the nest. We know that to be a fact. So you're right about that.
Don't matter how many birds it affects, she will move that nest.
Mm-hmm. So we wrap up the first episode back over with Janelle again at her new land. And she repetitively talks about how much work it's going to be and how worth it it's going to be. Glad she's excited for that. Yes, Christine pops in because she's just on a mission to get Janelle a man. I don't know if just because she's so happy, she wants to see Janelle so happy, but I think Janelle is going to be so happy out here doing all her really hard work for the next 5 years. Truly, I think that that's what she wants to do. I don't think she wants any kind of anchor. She's fulfilled with her kids. Her kids are having kids. She wants to be around for all of those things. Christine wants to be loved. She wants to be babied and taken care of. Janelle just doesn't care for that. Never really has. I did think it was funny though. She's trying to like be all cute. I just think it's funny to see her try to be all cute. And it was working because look at David. Right at titties.
Because of her meeting David online, thinks that that's where Janelle will also find happiness is online. But you gotta be careful with these things. You don't want to be signing people up for dating apps and then them show up to their worst nightmare. Let that be their own decision.
Well, I think that's why she was erring on the side of maybe a landscaper, but she has lots of ideas for Janelle.
Just let Janelle figure that out on her own. It may take her a few extra years.
We all are about this land.
Yeah, she's fine.
We got Caleb. We don't need another man. We got David around to drive a truck when needed.
She's still not even sure what she's doing with Cody's soul and everything. She's still attached to it.
She is attached to his soul right now. She's got to figure that out too.
Just give it time. Focus on your Airbnb.
And I mean, this looks like a lot of place to stand to me. But anyways, we leave it on the raw land, and Janelle lets us know that if everything works out the way she wants it, then this is where she's going to be forever.
Yep, go get her RV. She's ready to go.
Yeah, where is her RV? Pull it up.
I'm assuming she could have sold that.
Probably. She said she sold everything. She got rid of all her leases, all that, tying her to Flagstaff. And I know the RV isn't Flagstaff, but I'm sure it's there.
It was, yeah. Well, we're happy to be back covering Sister Wives.
I mean, we got it next time. We see Christine trying on some Valentine's Day dresses. Mary and Janelle are going to talk at Coyote Pass, and I know that that's been a long-awaited scene. The only problem with that is that was a long-awaited scene back in February, and now we pretty much know everything that's happened, and Coyote Pass is now sold and everything. I mean, I do still want to see how they come together and all that, because it does seem that they did have to come together in order to get everything that they deserved with that deal. I'd like to see the behind the scenes, but it's not as exciting as it was 2 months ago, for sure. I've also been waiting for this Valentine's Day dinner with Robin and Cody when they ask about plural marriage and he starts sweating about it and all of that. I mean, I think it's going to be a nothing burger, sort of like they were talking about plural marriage at Josephine's a little bit, just kind of exploring the idea and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I'm a little bit sad because these were two big scenes that I've been waiting for in the previous trailers from when this season started, what feels like a year ago. And now with everything going on and that's happened, I just don't feel as excited for those. I'm still here for it, but I feel like the break really kind of messed up the enthusiasm.
It just puts us more behind, but Sister Wives loves to do that. Once we're about to catch up, they want to put us behind.
I know, and Mary keeps trying to tell us on her Instagram lives that we're going to get closer and closer in time, but then what's the point of the break? So there's also no mention of Garrison in this episode at all. I know that according to the timeline that seems to be going on, that probably hasn't happened yet. Even in the next time, they're just showing us the next episode. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. There's been so many rumors about is he or isn't he going to get a dedicated episode, or how are they going to cover it, or whatever. So I guess we're going to wait and see. But it feels pretty morbid if that's just all we're waiting for the rest of the season here. I mean, goodness gracious.
Well, hopefully not. Hate to leave you on that note, Chick Chatters, but
there we go. We are happy to have you all back. I'm happy to have the show back because I like to talk to Miss Anne about it. So I'm glad that you all will be back watching. So leave some comments. Let us know what you think. Like the video, subscribe, click the copy button on the share. Bada bing, bada boom.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna, and goodbye.
Goodbye.